Hi, I'm Dan Comiskey, and welcome to Connecting the Dots. Today, we're lucky enough to have Sheila Martin with us, and Sheila is running for council in Chatham-Kent. Sheila, welcome. Thank you so much for coming in today.
Hi, Dan. Nice to meet you. And yes, I'm running for municipal council for Ward 6, and I might see you walking around delivering my flyers. I signed up for council because I want to be involved in the decision making that is happening on council for our community of Chatham-Kent. And I'm concerned about a number of things that are happening in our community, but when I'm walking around talking to residents, one of the things that keeps coming up is that they are very concerned about the homelessness, that they're concerned about the individuals on the streets that have addiction issues and mental health issues. And that's why I am here, is because I'm here to learn from you, and if I can help, great, but I want to know what's going on, and I think you guys are very educated about this.
Well, I think we're in the same boat because we're all trying to figure out what's going on. You know,
yeah.
There's been a lot of things going on. What was the moment in your, what was the moment that said, okay, that's it, I'm running for council?
Oh, I watched the council meetings, and it was probably the last council meeting when it was, for me, I'm an accountant, and I'm very concerned about fiscal responsibility. I'm also concerned about accountability, and I just see a lot of spend on council. I'm concerned about our taxes going up. I'm also concerned about how expensive the CK Imagine project is. Can we afford it? Is it what the taxpayers actually want? I think it's so important that that we represent the community, the residents as a whole, and that's why I agree about public consultation is so important, transparency. But for me, I signed up late, probably a couple of days before the nomination papers were due. I signed up because I was just having some frustration with current council and the spending.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. Figure you can do a better job, and that's good to hear.
I know I can do a better job.
That's good to hear.
Because I want to represent the people.
Wonderful. Thank you. And as you know, today we're here to talk about a certain neighborhood, and it's our Tecumseh Park neighborhood. And as part of the association, we've been looking at the fact that there's an emergency shelter that's put in about 3 blocks from where we're sitting right now, and that it was put in without consent of the neighborhood in any real means. So I wanted to set some questions around that, as you know, and so if you wouldn't mind, we can start. Are you ready?
Sure.
Awesome. Thank you. So in March of 2022, Council decided to move the temporary emergency homeless shelter to a former elementary school on Murray Street without consulting the residents of the neighborhood. No public meetings prior to council decision, no open houses, no surveys, no direct communication with residents at all prior to approving the staff recommendation. Even 23 deputations asking for a prior public consultation were ignored by a majority of council and by the mayor. So with that in mind, how would you ensure proper prior public consultation takes place?
Well, council is bound to adhere to the Municipal Act, and the Municipal Act clearly outlines the responsibilities of council. So I have pulled together some information that I believe you probably already have about the code of conduct for members of council, accountability and transparency policy, and a bylaw to establish public notice policy. So the Municipal Act says that a municipality must adopt and maintain policies for circumstances in which a municipality shall provide notice to the public. If notice is to be provided, the form, manner, and times notice shall be provided. So this is bylaw 1372020. This was passed on October of 2020, and I think that this whole situation falls under, I don't know if you've seen this document before.
Go ahead, please.
Okay, but I think it falls under proposal to restructure the municipality.
Sounds reasonable.
And
So then what are they required to do in that situation?
okay, in that situation, because there's little headings, a summary of requirements is public notice requiring to advise of holding of public meetings before council votes on whether to support or oppose a restructuring proposal. And it says that public notice to be published on the municipal website a minimum of 14 days prior to the meeting, and public notice to be published in a newspaper a minimum of 14 days prior to a meeting. Was that provided to you?
I think it was 3 days, actually.
Actually, it wasn't provided to them. It was 3 days that was an announcement in the newspaper that this was happening.
That's
3
right.
days, and I think that's a restructuring of the municipality, because from what I understand is those workers, is there 30 municipal workers at that site?
I don't.
I don't know that answer.
I
Yeah.
hear a lot of hearsay as I'm walking around talking to people.
Yeah.
So I think they were obligated to give you 14 days.
Well, that's really interesting. That's
Yes, I was aware of that.
yeah.
They were-
That's
they
great
were-
information.
Yeah.
So you can keep that.
So we can start. That's a great place to start in terms of changing things. We can actually start following rules. That'd be nice. How would you ensure that staff recommendations are more detailed and transparent to allow for public consultation opportunities? Or do you want to
Okay.
step back? Am I going too fast? Do you have more?
No. So staff recommendations, I'm not sure, because I'm not on council now, so I'm not sure exactly how that goes down. I know that for me, if I was to get on council, I would be figuring out who knows what, and I would be trying to get that information myself, trying to get those details. Yeah, I'm not sure exactly how that goes down right now.
To be discovered.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if I was to get on council, I think then I would start to, I would know how detailed how much detail staff, municipal employees provided to council.
Right. And maybe who provides what information.
Yeah,
and,
I
and
don't
all
know.
those
Do you
things.
know how much
No.
is provided?
No, this is all. These
Okay.
we're asking the questions of everybody and hoping that we can find out some answers.
And I would imagine that someone like the mayor can tell you that answer.
I would think. I would think.
Is the mayor coming? Okay.
We've
any-
invited everybody, and so far we've had
Did any?
had-
11 council or candidates for council and 2 of the 3 mayoral candidates.
yeah, we haven't got the incumbents. so-
No one who's up for re-election.
Oh yes, several candidates who are up for re-election are doing interviews, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, great, because then they should be able to help out with that question.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. Well, and this is all we're trying to do is create
Yeah.
create light and get people to allow people to have the access to information that they need so that they can, be a part of these decisions. Really, if it's part of their municipality, if it's part of their city, and if it's things that's coming up, maybe it's more than 14 days we need before you put an emergency shelter in the middle of a residential area. Maybe we need more than that. Maybe rules need to be changed. I don't know the answers. We are asking a lot of questions, and we've got a lot of good answers, and we're hoping that the people who are voted in are going to use that information and their own information and really improve the city. That's really what our goal is, right? Is just to really represent the neighborhoods and improve the city, right?
Great.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, if you were in a situation and you were elected and you're on council, and you found yourself in a situation where there may be a conflict of interest, how do you handle that?
If I discover that there's a conflict of interest, so I'm not exactly sure of proper protocol.
So I'll back up.
But I would definitely bring it up. That I think that this may be a conflict of interest. Let's say there's someone on council, Doug Solomon. If he had legal affairs or business with something, he would abstain from the vote and being part of the decision making. And that's what he's supposed to do. So, but if I became aware of a conflict of interest, I would immediately bring it to the attention of other council members and the mayor.
Okay. Okay, good.
Absolutely.
And if it was your conflict of interest?
I would
situ-
abstain. I would absolutely abstain because that's the ethical thing to do.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Okay, so moving on now. In March 7th of 2022, a staff recommendation to expand facilities and programs at Hope Haven was put on hold to investigate a $1.2 million offer from a secret group of investors to move the shelter away from downtown. The new staff recommendation with the new investor option was presented as a done deal in the Chatham Daily News on Friday, March 18th, 2022, and passed by council and the mayor on Monday, March 21st, 2022. Pretty quick.
Yeah.
Would you have voted for a homeless shelter in any residential neighborhood? Why or why not?
In this particular case, the Hope Haven, I believe, was one of the possible locations, and they were going to expand Hope Haven. And Hope Haven's a better choice, absolutely. So Hope Haven was already established. They had been open since 2018. They were already doing great things. They were already providing services, laundry, food. They already had staff. I believe they were housing people at certain temperatures, and probably prior to COVID, they were housing individuals at that facility. So they already had the experience, they had the staff, they knew what they were doing. They were also able to treat individuals with addictions. So I know they have something going there on Saturdays, a narcotics counseling. Mm-hmm. And I think that many of the individuals that are homeless, I think some of them are homeless, and I think some of them are really, really suffering from addiction and mental health. So
seems to be a big gray line encompassing a lot of people that are called homeless.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. How many of the homeless are suffering from addiction and mental health issues?
Yeah, that's a great question.
So I would have supported an expansion of Hope Haven. It's in the downtown area already. That's where a lot of the homeless and the individuals with the addiction problems, that's where they already congregate. Mm-hmm. And they're still there. They're still there right now.
Yeah.
Even though the homeless shelter is down there, many individuals are still in the downtown area. And I just really think that Hope Haven is a great organization. And I personally, so I know that Councillor Bondi put forth a motion to refer to administration until such time as public consultation is completed on this issue. I would have voted with that motion.
To defer the vote.
To defer the vote for public consultation, because public consultation is required by the Municipal Act.
Right.
And also, there's also transparency. So there's also accountability and transparency policy, which is part of the municipal. This is for our municipality, and it says that public participation and information sharing, that the municipality has adopted policies to ensure participation by the public through timely disclosure of information by various means. So I would have opposed what happened in Victoria Park. I would have opposed that, and I would have voted for public consultation, and I would have supported Hope Haven.
Very good. Thank you. What kind of services and support should be put in place for homeowners when a homeless shelter does move into a neighborhood or a community?
Okay, I have, been reading the paper about this entire issue, and one thing I noticed was I think it was in one of the articles or one of the reports that I read, that they said that the police services would provide police on bicycles, and I thought foot patrol, the way it was worded, that there would be support, more police presence, more police keeping the peace and monitoring what was going on around here. But then I'm out talking to residents every day, delivering my flyers, and I had a resident say that lives in this area, and they said that they only saw police on bicycles during retro suites. So I thought since June they said the police services was going to start doing that, but has that happened?
Well, I mean, I've seen a few times. We do work with the police for stats, and they've been very supportive to get us any reporting that's going on. So we have worked with them. They've been doing their best, and they've been in the neighborhoods. In terms of bike presence, I've seen a little bit. I haven't seen a bunch. Yeah, like so that'd be one thing definitely. I think that the community would need. Absolutely.
So I think we should go back to the way things were, 50 years ago, and have the police with a presence, out of the vehicles and on the streets, on bicycles. And that's what they do in a lot of other urban communities. You'll see the police on bicycles, but every day.
Yeah.
I think they should be here because, and in the downtown area and Tecumseh Park, keeping the police. And also as a method to alert if people need emergency assistance for the individuals who are addicted to drugs and an OD crisis, and then they're there.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Help us. So there should definitely be those supports.
Okay, good stuff. Thank you. Would you think that requiring municipal staff to make a progress report to council on the operation of the shelter and the impact on the neighborhood would be a good idea?
Absolutely.
And if so, why and how?
Absolutely. I think we need the facts, the statistics. So what's the capacity? How many individuals are utilizing the facility on a daily basis, and how many individuals are actually being placed in homes, and how many of those individuals are suffering from mental health crisis or like schizophrenia, how many are suffering from drug addiction problems. So all of those should be on public record, I believe. The more disclosure, and then council needs that information and the municipality to make decisions about how much support those individuals need as far as counseling and addictions counseling.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And healthcare.
Great, thank you. So now let's skip ahead to, because I feel like we've answered a lot of this last one here, so we'll skip ahead to homelessness in Chatham-Kent. It's not unique to Chatham-Kent homelessness. Communities across the country are struggling with the problems that lead to homelessness, and finding the support services and the resources necessary to help people. What do you think are the leading causes of homelessness in Chatham-Kent?
Well, I believe, just from everything I've read, that a lot of the individuals who are truly homeless, that a lot of them, they want to be homeless. They don't want to be members of society, so they have to make that decision to be a member of society. But I also think a lot of the homelessness isn't really a homeless problem. For many of them, I suspect, are suffering from schizophrenia or mental health disorders like anxiety and depression, and they need support for mental health. So and also drug addiction. So I think, is our homelessness a homelessness problem, or is it a mental health crisis that's going on here? And health is it's a provincial responsibility. It's health, but I think we really need more support, more counselors, more drug addiction counselors working to help these people.
Okay, thank you. how would you handle the issue of homelessness in Chatham-Kent? You've answered. I think really at this point, Sheila, we should just say that thank you very much for coming. And is there anything else that you feel like you want to, a message you want to give to people? And is there anything else you'd like to say? This is a great time to say it. This is going to be, as you know, played in a few different places. So.
Yep, I think that thank you so much for having me and educating me. And I wanted the opportunity to listen to the Tecumseh Park Association about what's going on here, because you're helping me to understand this issue, and many residents think that this is one of the, like, I ask residents every day, what are the top 3 issues with our community? And this is in the top 3 is the homelessness, the individuals, the drug problems. Everyone in the community is very concerned about that, and about that it's on the rise. And they say to me, what is the municipality doing to help with that?
And what can we do to help?
Yeah.
You know, like how do we help these people?
Yeah. So I wanna help, and thank you so much for having me.
Very nice to meet you.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
All right.